House Representative Tim Burchett is once again on the warpath against the suppression of UFO information. Specifically, this time he is going after the Pentagon and saying the UFO issue should be taken out of the Pentagon's control. This is fascinating. Get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. Please hit like, please subscribe, share in social media, and as I'm going through the story, please comment below and let me know what you think. Also, please consider supporting the channel by becoming a channel member. See the options below, or you can simply leave a tip in the tip jar with the Super Thanks feature. Okay, this is really interesting. Lately, Tim Burchett has really come out vocally as a strong supporter of UFO disclosure, and he is very distrustful of the government and their willingness to come forward on this issue. I made a video a few days ago where Tim Burchett was actually, I keep wanting to say Burchett, where Tim Burchett was actually attacking other members of Congress within his own party on this issue, saying they had been compromised. Specifically, he was referring to Marco Rubio. So that is very strong. That is very unusual for Congress people to attack other Congress people within their own party, especially something as fringy as the UFO topic. Why would you attack why would you do that unless you were really serious about it, unless you knew something was going on? So that's fascinating, and that could be very important. Well, recently he was giving some statements, and he said that actually he didn't even think the Pentagon should be in control of this issue at all. He thought it should be done independently. So that is huge. So here he is in those comments.
I know they just had some dealings with the about the UFOs situation where I think Pentagon is going to be taking over.
Yeah,
I'm confused with it, man. Help me here.
You're not the only one. The Pentagon, of course, is valiantly decided they're going to take over all the research on the UFO phenomena, but it's totally bogus. I mean, they're just going to require more money from us, and they're going to keep it quiet. I don't trust the Pentagon. I never have. They are secrets upon secrets, and that's how they operate. And we're foolish if we give them any more money to do this kind of thing. It needs to be independent. There needs to be congressional oversight, and the public needs to see it.
Right.
It doesn't need to be any double secret meetings.
Right. I thought we was finally getting to a point where the public was
but I think they yanked the rug out. They don't think they're prepared. They pulled the rug out from under us. I think the military-industrial complex and the rest of those clowns, they fully know what they're doing, and they're going to keep it secret from us.
Just one last thing. Why is it like they don't want what is it they don't want the public to know?
That's a good question. I've got a theory about that. I think it's about control. They think once that they lose control of the issue, that could you imagine if this world was focused on one issue, looking at something like that, we could all come together on something? I think that would just disrupt the whole military-industrial complex, the religious-industrial complex, on down the line. It would just disrupt that whole chain, and they don't want it. They don't want it. They want control. They want secrets. They want it compartmentalized. I mean, they won't even release it. The Kennedy files, and who the heck's alive after that? It's ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous.
It's going to come out soon, man. Thank you so much, Congressman.
Isn't that fascinating? Taking the UFO program out of the Pentagon's control. I like that a lot. I like that a whole lot. However, I don't know how that would work practically. We need access to the historical data. I mean, we're never going to get to the actual bottom of this thing unless we know what the hell is going on at Area 51, right? I don't think you can do that without the involvement of the Pentagon. However, I don't think you can do that with the involvement of the Pentagon either. So maybe an outside agency looking into this independently, not even looking at the historical data, would have a better chance. Of course, then they would come into conflict with the control group, whoever the hell is running this, program within the government. The Area 51 guys, the breakaway group, the breakaway civilization, as Richard Dolan calls it. I usually think it's a little too fancy. I prefer the breakaway group. However, the more I look into it, the more it seems like a pretty big operation. Richard Dolan may have a point calling it the breakaway civilization. But regardless, I love the idea of taking this out of the Pentagon, getting them, they would no longer be involved with the UFO investigation going forward. Now, of course, they would still be pursuing their own Area 51 stuff. At least there might be an independent agency making honest progress on this issue. Is that too much to hope for? Maybe. I did disagree with Tim Burchett when he said that we shouldn't fund the UFO programs within the Pentagon. Obviously they need some sort of budget in order to accomplish anything. ATIP had no budget, and they weren't able to do a whole lot except collate data and make a few observations. So we need to actually drill a little deeper. OSAP and BASS, they actually had a budget, and they were able to do stuff. They went into the field. They were able to have investigations, and they have not released the results of those investigations to us, which is very interesting. What exactly haven't they told us? Because we know a whole lot about Skinwalker Ranch. I mean, we know ghosts, we know UFOs, portals, maybe we don't have as solid a data as we could. Do they have solid data to back up all of that stuff, and that's why they don't want to release it to the public? Or do they have even more than that that they are withholding from us? Either way, that's the point, is that BASS and OSAP were able to carry out these investigations, and they had a budget. So, whatever the new program is, it does need a budget if it's going to even have a shot at being a halfway honest program, a halfway effective program. OSAP and BASS, they were not within the public purview at that time. It was, a secret project. It wasn't a special access program, which is why Lou Elizondo ultimately left, or one of the reasons behind him ultimately leaving the Pentagon, as he wanted ATIP to be even more secretive. He wanted it to be an actual funded special access program. He wanted the people upstairs to take it seriously, and when they didn't, he said, screw this, I'm going public. At least that's my understanding. If you have a different understanding, please let me know in the comments below. But the new programs, AIM Song, Arrow, whatever the new program is going to be called, it needs a budget, and it is actually within the public purview. The public is going to get some information from this program. Like the recent leaks that have come out about the new report. They're saying that the report says that half of the cases they looked at have been explained, but half have not. And the complaint is that they should be looking at the half that have not been explained. That's the interesting stuff, not the half that has. But that information, when the report is released, if that is in fact part of the information to be released, will be public. And so that's why we do need a funded program that is actually researching this stuff so the public can get this information. If it was an outside agency looking into this, would they be able to get the access to all of those cases? The pilots and so on are able to report to the new program. They have this new system where they can report UFO sightings. Would they be able to do that if the new office was not in the Pentagon? Perhaps there could be two offices, one within the Pentagon, collating and collecting this information and performing investigations, and one outside of the Pentagon, independently, trying to interact with the phenomenon and try to understand what that's all about. Now, that's probably just wishful thinking. I really think that we probably need to do this ourselves. We need to make contact with the phenomenon safely and, with awareness. But I think a grassroots movement to connect to the phenomenon is probably our only real shot at getting any answers and any evolving this situation. But that's just me. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know what you think about Tim Burchett's thoughts about moving the UFO program outside of the Pentagon. I think that's a fascinating idea, and it's so cool that we have a congressman actually pushing that idea forward. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Smash that subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. Join me on Facebook and Twitter. There's social media links below. I'd love to interact with you there. Please support the channel to help me make the best videos I know how by becoming a channel member. See the options in the first link in the first line of the description below. Also, please consider just leaving a tip in the tip jar with the super thanks feature. Trying to make this channel as robust as I can get it and these videos as good as I can make them. So help me spend more time on Cosmic Road. And thank you very much for those of you who have supported the channel. I really appreciate it. Until next time, this is Jack with Cosmic Road.